Welcome to a special edition of the Healthy Moving Podcast, the show all about helping you to exercise less, but move more so that you will feel better. I am your healthy moving enthusiast, Jen Hoffman of stayathomeyoga.com. Today, we're changing up the format. We're kicking off an amazing year of weaving healthy moving into the fabric of your day with a move along episode. All you need is a rolled yoga mat, or if you don't have one of those, grab a rolled up towel. Press pause, grab one of those, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. Okay, you have your roll? Lay it down on the ground in front of you. Don't unroll it, leave it rolled up. We're going to begin with one of my favorites, and everybody needs more calf stretching in their life. Place the ball of your right foot on the roll over to the left side of the roll. The heel is going to be down on the ground. Before we do anything with the placement of the left foot, let's take a look at the outside edge of that right foot. It needs to be in a straight line that is parallel to the walls that you're standing next to. Most people need to turn their heel out slightly in order to accomplish that alignment. Now let's play with the position of the left foot. Depending on how tight your calves are, you're going to play with where you put this foot. You want to be at a place where you feel a good stretch in the right calf, but where you can also maintain the other alignment markers that I'm going to give you. So let's begin by placing the left foot next to the roll. Now we want the right leg to be vertical, which means we want the hips to stay over that right heel. If your calf allows, experiment with taking your left foot just right in front of the roll. And as your flexibility allows, you can begin to walk that left foot a little bit further in front of the roll so that the distance between your left foot and your right foot eventually, maybe today, but maybe in a month from now, gets to be about a stride's length between the 2 feet. Again, it's really tempting for people to try to bring the left foot forward, but then to lean the torso forward and thrust the pelvis forward. Keep your pelvis back over that right heel. Keep your torso vertical. Drop your ribs down and back. Breathe. As you linger here, let me tell you a little bit about when I like to do this stretch. I try to do this one a couple times a day. In the morning when I'm brushing my teeth, I roll up my bath mat and use it for a calf stretch. When I'm in line at the grocery store, I place the ball of one foot on the wheel of the cart and do the stretch using the cart. And I have half domes all over my house that I can spontaneously pop into a calf stretch while I'm working at my standing workstation, while I'm waiting for something in the kitchen. All day long, I'm stretching my calves. So much of our modern life causes tension in this part of the body. Before we switch to the second side, take a moment to take a micro bend, just the tiniest bend to that right knee, and notice how the stretch changes. All the alignment markers are the same. The position of your left foot is such that it allows your torso to be vertical and your pelvis to be directly over that right heel. This helps the stretch move into the deep calf muscle called the soleus. Okay, then on an inhalation, step the right foot off of the roll, and you can move your left foot. You might want to take a couple steps around before we switch to the second side. When you're ready, we'll place the ball of the left foot on the roll over to the right side. The heel is on the ground. Make that adjustment so that the outside edge of your left foot is parallel to the walls that you're standing next to. You may need to turn your heel out slightly in order to accomplish that. Remember that both sides of the body might be different, so start with the right foot next to the roll and slowly begin to move it in front of the roll at a distance that allows you to get a yummy stretch in your left calf, but to keep the alignment in your upper body. Your pelvis is directly over that left heel. Your torso is vertical. Drop your ribs down and back and breathe as you linger here. One of the amazing things as you begin to stretch and move your body is that you start throughout the day to hear these little whispers from your body asking for something. It doesn't take more time, it just takes more awareness. You can fit this stuff in to the fabric of your day while you're living your life. Okay, before we come off with the left foot, take that little micro bend and allow the left soleus to lengthen and relax. Okay, step your left foot off of the roll and let's work with basic stance next. We're going to start at the feet and then go all the way up to the top of the head and talk about where we want our alignment to be. But remember, this is a journey. If you're not here today, if these points aren't exactly where you are today, you'll want to slowly work toward getting there. Let's begin with the feet. So in healthy alignment, our feet are the same distance apart as our anterior superior iliac spines. Now, you know where your ASIS are, right? Okay, let me help you out. Take your hands to the front of your pelvis. Feel those two bony prominences. Those are your anterior superior iliac spines, or you'll hear me refer to them as the ASIS. We want your feet to be the same distance apart as those bones, so the center of your ankle lines up directly under those. Okay, now that we have the feet a good distance apart, let's play with the actual alignment or position of the feet. Take a look at the outside edge of your feet. For most people in today's culture, the feet form a V shape. In optimal, healthy alignment, the outside edges of the feet make an 11, two parallel lines instead of that V. But here's the thing, if you're in full V today, you probably are not going to be able to just move all the way out. Move there for a moment just so you can kind of see and sense where you're going. But you'll want to spend some time over the next few days, weeks, maybe even months, gradually working your way out to having that position where the outside edges of your feet are parallel to each other. Now, the number one thing most people say to me whenever they do this is, oh, my knees feel like they're going in towards each other. And yes, that is common. But you don't fix that by moving the feet. You fix it by moving the position of the thighs so that the knees point straight ahead. We want to bring our awareness up to the top thighs and externally rotate them slightly so that if you bent your knees, they would point straight ahead rather than in towards each other. Okay, let's move a little bit further up to the pelvis. Most people stand with the pelvis thrusted forward. Our hamstrings and glutes can strengthen all day long if we stand in healthy alignment with our pelvis directly over our heels. So begin to back your pelvis up so that your legs come toward vertical. Now, ultimately, you want to have a completely vertical leg, but you might not have the hamstring and glute strength today to hold you up with a vertical leg. So again, over the course of the next few days and weeks and months, slowly begin backing your pelvis up so that your legs come toward vertical. Feel how your glutes and your hamstrings have to fire and strengthen to hold you there. When we begin to stop asking the quads to hold us up all day long, we can allow the quads in the front to relax and let even the kneecaps release down so they're not pulling up toward the pelvis all day long, which is not great for our knee health at all. Now, the other thing that we accomplish when we bring the pelvis back is we start to release some of the tuck of the tailbone that is really common. But if you find that your tailbone is tucked under, again, instead of just forcing yourself to untuck, you want to kind of go inside and see what is holding you in that tucked position and see if you can release those muscles so that your pelvis comes toward neutral. In a neutral pelvis, the ASIS, remember those, the two bony prominences at the front of your hips, the ASIS are in a vertical plane with the pubic bone. Again, most people stand with the tailbone tucked under, so the pubic bone is forward of the ASIS. Play with seeing if you can release the tension and the holding pattern that you have that's causing you to tuck that tailbone under. Let's move up to the ribs. In healthy alignment, the front of the rib cage is in that same vertical plane with the ASIS and the pubic bone, but most people thrust the ribs up and forward. Can you do the opposite? Imagine the ribs are a ball that is rotating down and back. You get healthy core activation when you turn the ribs down and back. Keeping the ribs in this alignment and softening the belly is one of the best ways to begin to strengthen your core. Now let's bring our awareness to the arms. Take a look at your hands. When your arms are relaxed down, are your hands at the front of your thighs or the side? Can you slowly turn the elbow creases, or sometimes I call them the elbow pits? Can you slowly turn the elbow pits forward so that your hands come to the sides of your hips instead of to the front of your thighs? Let your shoulders relax. We're not going to get too much into fixing the alignment of the upper body today because it's a little bit beyond the scope of what we're trying to do in this 15 minutes that we're working on this stuff together today. But for now, just work on rotating the arms so that the elbow creases face forward and the arms relax to the side. Then let's bring your awareness to your head. Imagine, men do this too, imagine that you have a ponytail in your hair. And I am going to grab a hold of the ponytail and pull it not straight back and not straight up, but at a diagonal line behind you, up and back. Now here's the thing. If I'm pulling the head, does the chest and ribs come along with it? Keep them where they are. Keep the ribs dropping down and back and only move your head back and up as much as you are able today to do so without bringing the chest and the ribs along for the ride. Now breathe here. Again, all of these points are things you want to work toward. Think of it as a continuum. And several times throughout the day, I'm asking you to do what you're already doing a little bit differently. And if each day you work toward moving toward the alignment points, in no time at all, you'll find yourself making progress. But it's kind of like deciding today to run a marathon tomorrow if you've never been running at all. You need to change your body and train slowly for this process. Now, as you're lingering here and exploring this new posture, let me just tell you, I did not create these alignment markers. They come from scientists in the field of biomechanics who study the best way for us to align our body so that we get the least amount of wear and tear on our joints and the most amount of flow in the body, flow of lymph and blood and electricity through the body so that we can have optimal health. Work slowly toward these. Okay, let's wrap up this mini movement session together with one more movement that I know you're doing already several times throughout your day. I just want to give you a little bit more information so that you can do it with more awareness and attention that will help not only keep you healthier, but also begin to strengthen your muscles as well. So imagine right now that there's something on the floor that you need to bend down and pick up. Go ahead and do it. Watch what happens to your legs. Now, in an ideal world, we would all have the hamstring flexibility that we could keep that vertical leg that we found when we were doing our basic stance and bend from the hip creases, turning the pelvis with us to pick things up off of the ground, to tie our shoes, unload the dishwasher, grab the laundry out of the dryer, get something out of a drawer, all the many times during the day we're doing that. But most of us don't have the hamstring flexibility yet. Stick around with me and you will start to get it. But if you don't have it yet, it's okay to bend the knees, but we still want to maintain a vertical shin. Notice that when you bent your knees came forward over the front of your feet. Can you instead reach your hips back behind you, like you were sitting back toward a chair, while maintaining a vertical shin? Also, while you're there, work on reaching the tailbone up toward the ceiling. Now reach and pick up that imaginary item off of the floor. This is the way we want to be bending down throughout the day, all the times we are. Can you feel how your glutes and hamstrings are strengthening in order to hold you there? This not only protects your back, it's great for your pelvic floor, it starts to tone the backside of the body, and it's also great preparation for squatting. So you're sitting the hips back, remembering when you bend down, vertical shin, and tailbone reaching up. Okay, that's going to wrap up our little mini movement session here together today. If you want a step-by-step plan this year to help you incorporate healthy moving into the fabric of your day, Movement that doesn't take more time, but instead just takes more awareness and attention on your part. We know that we don't need more exercise. The research shows us that fit people, athletes, they aren't more healthy in terms of cardiovascular disease, arthritis. They don't take less medication or have less surgery. We don't need to get fit, friends. We need to weave healthy movement into the fabric of our days. If you need help, if you want a step-by-step plan for doing that, along with tons of coaching, accountability, and support, we have a challenge group beginning in just a couple weeks. Head over to stayathomeyoga.com/support. Sign up to join us today. Thank you everyone so much for joining me for this fun, special, moving along episode. If you found this helpful, be sure to head to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and review. You can find the show notes, including links to stay-at-home yoga videos that demonstrate these things we've been talking about today, over at healthymovingpodcast.com. And if you have a question you'd like me to answer on air, or a story you'd like to share, or feedback you'd like to give about the show, call me at 201-580-MOVE, or click the Leave Me a Message button in the show notes. And help me start this healthy moving revolution by telling your friends and family about the show. There's Facebook and Twitter links over on the site to help make spreading the word super easy for you. Until next week, friends, Happy New Year and keep moving.